Alright, YouTubers. What we've got here today is the Rite in the Rain all-weather notebook. Found this online. I work in an industry where my hands are constantly wet. Actually, they're in gloves that are wet frequently, and I'm outdoors a lot. So when my hands are wet because of the work I do, and it's raining, my notebooks, which this is my old one, gets wet, tattered, torn, wears out pretty good. You can see this is well used. Have notes in it. So what I've realized is I need to find something that's better, that's going to stand up to the weather. So looked online, found Rite in the Rain all-weather notebook. Ran me $6 at my local Army Navy supply. Just a couple things while looking at this right here. Defying Mother Nature, it's made of recycled materials, and it is recyclable on top of that. It's got both inches and centimeters, so you can use it as a measuring device and straight edge. It does have a little bit of advice here. Using a pencil or all-weather pen, Rite in the Rain ensures that your notes survive the rigors of the field, regardless of conditions. When you open it up here, on the inside, it actually has a what is the best to write with. Use wet or dry, all pencils, Rite in the Rain pens, wax markers, crayons, oil pastels, and paint. When dry only, permanent markers and standard ballpoints won't wash off when it gets wet. What won't work is gel pens, most highlighters, fountain pens, watercolors, or acrylic paint. Now, they do have Rite in the Rain pens that are guaranteed to write on this, whether it's wet or not. Pencils obviously will, if pens will. So what we're going to try today is we're going to test this. I'm going to show you how just a generic Papermate ballpoint pen and a Sharpie seems to work on it. I'm also going to show you compared to your standard paper. Then we're going to take this bowl of water that you see up here, and we're going to douse both pieces of paper in that water for about 30 seconds, get them nice and saturated. Then I'm going to pull them back out, and we'll see how both of these utensils write on it. I know that pencil will write on it. I'm more concerned about pen. So that's what we're going to show you today. So to start off with, let's get a piece of paper of this. Just go ahead, pull it out, and then we'll get a piece of the Rite in the Rain. Now, one thing I do like about the Rite in the Rain, there is a slight grid pattern to it. So if you like to keep things nice, neat, and organized in your notebooks, it's very handy for that. This is a little bit thicker and seems to tear off fairly easy though. You can feel a significant texture difference between the two, and if you hold these up to the light, you can see through this one, or you can see light through this one, whereas this one still remains fairly opaque. As far as the general writing test, we're just going to write on here, "You rock," because anybody who's watching my video does rock. Writes fairly well. On the Rite in the Rain, pen seems to flow just a little bit smoother, and I think that has to do with the thickness and texture. We also have the Sharpie. And works just like you would imagine on paper. On the Rite in the Rain, seems to do just as well. So, seems to me like it's a good time to get things wet. We're going to take both pieces of paper, just put them one right on top of the other. So we're going to take a spoon, just drop it down in here. As you can see, they are both fully submerged. I'll leave that on there to weight it down. Then I'm going to show you a little timer. And clearly, by the time I get this timer over here, you can see that it's going to be more than 30 seconds. We're going to hit start. One of the reasons I really wanted to do this review is just to see how this does and let people know, because I think this is a cool product. And in the industry I work in, I think it'd be really, really good for anybody that works in the industry to be able to have access to this. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop this, because by the time I get this paper out, clearly it's been 30 seconds. We're going to slide this bowl up here. Pull these two pieces of paper out. They are both completely saturated. Now you can both clearly read on both pieces of paper what is said. And I don't know if you can tell, but on the Rite in the Rain paper, the water is beaded up already and seems to have come off fairly decent. However, the standard paper still saturated, whereas this, even to the touch, still feels fairly dry. So, trying to write on standard paper, paper is tearing, but my pen is able to write on it. Whereas with the Rite in the Rain, you can see that the pen was starting to pull up a little bit out of water, but it wrote without any kind of tear. This paper tears holes in very easy. This paper, I can draw circles, and the paper doesn't even feel like there's any kind of tearing of the paper. With the Sharpie, it's grabbing and pulling, and you can't really even write what you need to. Whereas on the Rite in the Rain, it picks up the water, does not seem to be tearing the paper, gripping the paper in any way that's detrimental. You can still get your message across, and it seems to work very well. So, all in all, I give the Rite in the Rain 2 thumbs up, and I make a high recommendation. Regular paper, great for when you're in dry conditions. The Rite in the Rain pad, you know, whether you're inside, outside, if you normally work in wet conditions, I think this is going to be my go-to notepad from now on. If the weather is called into question, or what I'm working on is going to be wet. One more side note, on the inside flap, you do have more measurements here. Conversion chart for meters, and just different measurements. You've got US to metric, metric to US, English linear measurements, map scales. So all in all, this is made to be not just a indoor, outdoor, gardening, engineering tool. This is made for anybody that's going to be in the weather, outdoors, indoors, wet or dry. So I highly recommend it. Hope Rite in the Rain keeps making good products. And number one thing, it's made in the USA. Thank you for watching YouTube. Thanks for clicking that like button. Thanks for sharing. And most of all, thanks for subscribing to my channel.